Welcome to the Aegance Offscript Podcast, where we talk to industry leaders who share their stories, insights, and lessons unfiltered and unscripted. I'm your host, Lawrence, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Abis Ali, the COO and co-founder at Raen AI. Abis and his team describe Raen AI as a high-velocity research lab and consultancy that helps businesses not just explore cutting-edge AI, but actually build, scale, and embed it into real operations. They're working at the intersection of research and implementation. And in a world where AI is evolving fast, that's exactly the tension businesses are grappling with. Abis, thank you so much for joining us and taking the time.
Thank you for having me, Lawrence.
Absolute pleasure. Would you mind, for the sake of the listeners and the viewers, providing us with a little bit more context around what it is that you do at Raen AI? I think that I positioned it to a certain degree, but you're naturally in a position to give us a bit more context around that.
Okay, perfect. So let's start by speaking about Raen itself. We started Raen about 2 years ago, and our primary goal is to use research level AI to help businesses solve problems. And these problems can be in terms of operations, in terms of cost management, time management, anything that the business needs. We noticed there was a massive gap between people knowing about AI and actually utilizing them for their business operations. And we wanted to take advantage of that opportunity to help enterprises all around the region. Whether it's a startup or a full-fledged enterprise, we cater to all of them. Now, what I do over here is I pretty much manage all operations, whether it's on the technical side of things, whether it's project, finance, HR, marketing. I need to dip my hands across all different departments. And which makes my job a bit hectic because I need to know all of the moving parts around the business.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. And it certainly sounds like you've got a lot on your plate and that you need to be wearing many hats. I mean, when you stepped into the chief operating officer role, you, as you rightfully say, you probably inherited both an operational and a strategic dimension to your job. I mean, how do you define your role today, and what decisions are you spending most of your time on?
That's a great question. So once we started Rain, in the early days, it was just setting up the business and your bank account and tax, registering with the government, hiring our employees, creating different departments, setting up tools, complying with regulations. So it was really hectic in the early days. And as we grew as a company, it became much more smoother and easy to work with. In terms of just how we operate and what I do, I'll give you a bit about my daily routine, for example. So in the morning, we have our morning, which is basically a global stand-up across different departments. You have your finance guys, the marketing team, the tech team, the internal operations team. All of them are there in this meeting. It's a quick 15, 20-minute meeting where I hear all the updates from each department. We, of course, categorize everything into, is this important? Is this not important? Are we achieving our deadlines? Are there any major blockers in any of the different departments? And then, of course, we assess what are the next steps, what is our action plan, things like that. And then we move forward with our day. And during the day itself, I do have 30-minute to 1 hour meetings with different managers and different team members. Again, this is more focused towards a certain problem or something that we might be exploring, things like that.
I'd imagine that as the chief operating officer, you are navigating the friction between the mission that drives the company, the day-to-day delivery of operations, and the need and want of the company for commercial growth, sort of a friction that exists between those three. How do you balance that?
Good. So our CEO, right, Fayaz, he lays down the vision and mission for the company. And as COO, it's my job to actually make sure that gets executed in the most efficient manner. But easier said than done, because you have all of these new things coming up. Let's say we need to achieve goals A, B, and C. Now, just to achieve A, we need to do X, Y, and Z. To do X, Y, and Z, you need to do another set of ABCs. And that definitely creates a lot of friction between, okay, we have a timeline, we need to achieve this within these many weeks, but for some reason we cannot move forward due to whatever reason. I'll give you a quick example. As our company grew, we of course wanted to manage international payments because most of our clients are there within the US and the UK. But due to central bank locations regulations within the UAE, we were not able to receive international payments, which is again bad for the project, because now, since the money is not coming in, how do we fund the project? How do we pay our people? How do we pay our vendors? And everything that's there. And since this was a major project, that the amount of money was a huge sum for us too. So we then resorted to different payment providers such as Stripe. Now onboarding with Stripe, getting them getting our KYC done, understanding their regulations, following all KYC compliance rules, and then sending the payment link to the client, then receiving the payment. This entire process took one entire month. So our entire project was delayed for that very reason.
I'd imagine that one of the big moves for an AI consultancy such as yourself is turning, prototypes or pilot projects into repeatable, scalable delivery options for the company. From your point of view, are there any systems or processes that you've invested in that you believe have moved you from those sort of one-off projects to something that's more repeatable, a repeatable model?
Right. So I think there are two parts to this question. I'll address the second part first. So most of our projects are on a retainer basis at this point, because the thing with AI is the job is never done. Once you build something, it requires continuous maintenance on the technical side of things, as well as on the data side of things. Many companies are not aware of this, but in reality, data actually decays over time. Something that was working a few months ago may not be working in this day and age, but maybe a few years down the line, that certain aspect of data might be running smoothly. So we, of course, with pretty much all our clients, have now completed the projects, as well as are now on retainers, whether it's a 6-month retainer or 1-year retainer. We do have these continuous things because clients, they need us, right? Because we've built this out, we know the system in and out, we know, they know us, they know our project managers, they know the account managers, everything is smooth and easy. The first part to your question was in terms of prototype and POCs, right? The thing with AI is everything works at a proof of concept level. But as you scale and take it to the MVP stage or onto the complete production stage, things start to break. Because during the POC process, you're only focusing on a limited amount of data. You haven't tested it out in the real world. Again, other constraint as in terms of resources, whether it's technical resources, hardware resources, things like that. Initially, when we started the company, we were doing POCs to, of course, gather all the clients. But we then noticed that some of the POCs don't actually work really well in the production environment. So what we do now, and this is where the research part comes in, before the project even sets in, we tell the client that we need to take 1 to 2 months, mostly a month, to scope the project and conduct R&D on their requirements, because this gives us time not only to build the prototype but also to test it in real life, in terms of, again, whether it's using a select users, doing different studies, etc., getting feedback, improving on the product, and then actually going ahead and deploying them. And this has given us really good success.
That's a really good response. And I'm interested to understand, when you propose that 1 to 2 month learning period, essentially, do you receive any pushback from your customers around, well, I'm paying for this, why should I not be seeing the value of it?
Yeah, we did face that issue, because most of the businesses and SMEs, and for very good reason, they treat AI as your traditional software projects. The thing with software projects is that you have a certain set of requirements. Let's say you have requirements A, B, and C. It's pretty simple. The logic is straightforward. You go ahead, you build out your first requirement, you test it. If all is good, you would then push that to production, and then you would go on with your cycle, right? And at the end of the project, the system is working, everything is okay, and all you need is some sort of support from time to time, and everyone is happy. But like I said, with AI, things work really, really differently. Just seeing since I think since the beginning of 2023, AI has really changed the landscape around the world. Before the GPT models that were there in 2023, GPT-3 that came out, everyone was amazed. Oh, wow, this can do so many things. And then slowly Claude came in, and Microsoft was releasing its models. Google came into the picture. Many different open source companies were building their own models. So there was a massive AI adoption. Compute became cheaper and models became more efficient, right? So, and this was all in a period of 2 years. Usually with other sorts of technologies, it's a good 5 to 10 year time frame. So when we go to our clients and we tell them that this is what we would need, a research phase to go ahead with the project, most of them do not like this. They are like, okay, so are you going to charge for this? And we go like, yeah, we're going to charge for this because we're investing in this. But then they're like, do you not know your own technology? I'm like, of course we know our own technology, but our technology changes so rapidly that few days ago something might not work, but now by the end of the week we can do it because a new model might have released. Our internal R&D teams might have developed a new prototype or a new model, a new algorithm that can really help us smoothen the research work. So things change, and we try to communicate to them that this is for their own benefit. It is very difficult for us not to do this phase, because if we just jump the gun and dive deep into the project, there's a high chance of failure, and we do not want to upset our clients. Recently, there was a company we were working with. It's an automotive company, and they wanted to scan the car registration cards, which we have in the UAE, which is called the Mulkia. And basically, the process was simple. You take a picture of the Mulkia, and the model extracts all the details and saves it onto their backend. We created a prototype for them. They loved the prototype, and they wanted to move to production. Just be like, okay, let's get started. I'm like, no, we cannot do that, because we just tried on 10 different Mulkias with an iPhone. How do you know this will work with an Android phone? Maybe Samsung has different levels of camera quality. Huawei might have a different level of camera quality. You have different image types. You have PNG images, JPEG images, HVIC images. So all of them have this different kinds of data now. Sure, we are trying to achieve the same thing, but now we have all these different variables that we need to work with. How do we know that the person might take the picture in perfect lighting conditions. They might take it where maybe it's dark, maybe they've taken it from a certain distance. So we do not know all those factors. And to perfect that, we need to go over the R&D stage. Fortunately, they were smart enough to understand this, and we did go ahead with the project.
Yeah, super interesting. So if we turn our attention internally to the company culture within Rain, you offer staff augmentation, and you recruit AI professionals to plug into client teams. I mean, what is your approach to building and retaining the kind of talent that you need, and how do you keep the culture stable and thriving when you're continuously scaling engagements?
That's a very good question once more. I would say that our top priority is the hunger to learn. When we recruit talent, and of course, this goes for our experienced professionals, for our interns, our graduate level programs, this goes for everyone. Of course, we want you to know how to do your work. We want you to have your skill set. You must be familiar in certain languages, know how to go about certain models, how to use various cloud technologies. All that is well and good. But such things can also be learned from YouTube. For example, right? You do not necessarily need to have a university degree. If you have one, that's great, all well and good, but it's not a necessity. So we really focus on people who are passionate about this realm of AI. We want to focus on people who, even if they don't know anything, they just know the basics. That's fine. You come on board. It's a growth environment. We have mentors. We teach you on how you can go about projects, different technologies, and we want you to learn, fail, learn again till you become successful. So we encourage failure because it's better for people to fail quick, learn, and then move forward rather than spending time. Maybe they might fail and then they get discouraged. So we want you to go through that entire process. So just within talking about culture and things like that, all of our employees have an assigned mentor. They mentor them through different business requirements, through technical challenges, and even if they just want to have a one-on-one regarding their personal life, that's also encouraged as well. We do offer various trainings and boot camps for all our employees. We want to make sure that everyone is up to date with the latest technology out there, and they love it because they know that we want to learn more and more. This is a good environment to thrive in. And at the same time, once you have 10 different people who are eager to learn, they then learn from each other, which sets a really good competitive environment.
Yeah, that's amazing. And are there any particular roles or skills that you have found really difficult to source?
So technical roles, surprisingly, are easier to get. Um, we are facing a huge challenge when it comes to marketing and business development. We aren't able to get the best talent out there as of now, and we are working towards it. It's just that it's such a dynamic environment where various other companies are bidding for the top tier business development professionals. And as a startup, you're not fully able to compete with that scenario yet.
Yeah, makes complete sense. And would you say that the shortfall in that particular skill set is the ability to sell AI-driven solutions?
Yes, that is the case, because let's talk about the UAE, for example. We have the majority of the market share is with G42, TII, and the Applied AI company. They dominate the AI industry within the entire MENA region, I would say. And as a smaller company, it's really difficult to compete with them. If you have a government project, for example, they are more likely to bid on that and get that project just because of the amount of resources they have, of course. And secondly, it's knowing the right person in the right group at the right time. So once you have that core network, it just gets super easy to get the project. You could be a really bad business development person, but if you have the right network and know the right people, that makes more of a difference than having just pure sales skills.
Speaking about business development, I mean, how are the majority of your prospects or clients finding you?
Very good, I would say, because initially we so our first project was actually with the Dubai government. It was with CIRA, a subsidiary of the Dubai CID. Our first project was with them. It was a smaller project, and it went really smoothly. Of course, we had a few hiccups here and there with communication, but all things considered, it was a job well done. We definitely delivered on that project. All our requirements were taken care of, and just from there, just from that one project, it, I would say, put us on the map in terms of the AI startups that deal with consultancy and projects, because from there we were able to access the international market. And now we have clients all across the United States as well as Europe. We do we are trying really hard to gather more clients within the GCC region, but again, that is challenging for us in the present, and we are working towards again trying different strategies to get them, hiring different professionals, seeing how the AI landscape is changing around the region and things like that. But I would say, or I would like to think that our clients find us really supportive. We help them with anything that they need, because there's a massive time zone difference as well. So we, of course, work during the day, and for them it's nighttime, and then vice versa towards our nighttime. So we have dedicated teams that work both shifts, and so that way the client can connect with us at any given moment, and we are just a phone call away.
And in terms of acquiring new clients, I mean, what's the go-to-market strategy? How are you acquiring the opportunity to sit in front of a client and learn about their challenge and how you're able to navigate that challenge for them?
To put it simply, I would say we have a very clear business development pipeline. We Our first step is to, of course, start with the basics, whether it's messaging on LinkedIn, sending out cold emails. We make sure that we cover the basics first. We have made some progress with cold emailing and LinkedIn messages. We target specifically CTOs and CEOs of tech companies as well as other major industry groups. Once we get some sort of attention from there, we would like to hop on a call with them, right? This is usually a quick online call, like a digital meeting through Zoom or Google Meet. We try to understand their requirements, and we try to see if are they a good fit for us, and if are we a good fit for them. It needs to go both ways, because majority of the times they might be looking for something really minute, and that is not something that we do, or they might be looking for a super huge project which might not be in our scope either. So we try to find the right fit, we get the requirements, and after that we of course build our proposals, our presentations. We then go back to a client, we do our presentation, we discuss, we negotiate on the pricing model, and from there we of course move on to the project. This is, I would say, a standard approach. Of course, we make sure to go on to various networking events, connect with different companies. We also love to connect with our competitors as well. We want to see how we can even help out each other. There was a case where we hired our competitor to work on a project with us. So both of us, in some ways, benefited of the project.
Yeah, that's super interesting. And certainly what I find is that many businesses are excited about AI, but few really feel the full impact of it. I mean, when you are talking to your prospective clients, what are some of the common barriers that you encounter to move beyond experimentation to real business outcomes?
Okay. I would say the first challenge would be that some of the companies here want to do AI for the sake of doing AI. They think it's a cool thing, let's use it. Maybe it will help us, maybe it will not help us, but we want to use AI. And when we go in with the cost and the timelines and things like that, then they go like, oh, okay, this is not something I was looking to invest on. What else can we do? And we faced this exact challenge with majority of the people that we have, a majority of the companies that we've interacted with. um, our That would be our main challenge. Our second challenge would be again the cost, and I would like to reiterate the fact that many companies think the standard AI is pretty much same as your traditional software projects, which is not the case. And so the cost barrier is definitely there, because if you see in an AI team, you have your project manager, you have your technical lead, then you have software engineers, your front end developers, your back end developers, then you have your DevOps team, you have your cloud engineers, then you have data scientists, you have data engineers, you have AI application developers, machine learning engineers. So it's the entire squad working towards a certain role, and each and every member specializes in a certain thing which would bring success to that specific project. So of course such a team would cost more, and companies don't really like the cost aspect to it.
Yeah, I can understand that, but as I think you've rightfully structured it, there is a lot of work that goes into delivering an AI-driven solution. So, Abis, if we look at Raen as a whole, the sum of all its part as a company, what would you say is working really well within the company at the moment?
I would say our existing projects have gotten us more revenue in terms of just pure revenue. And we've spent a lot of money on getting new clients, and sure, that works out well. But so a month ago, we did a study just to see on how much revenue have we made with new clients and how much revenue we've made with our existing clients that have been there since day one. And we've noticed that retaining an existing client and doing more valuable work from them actually gives you more revenue compared to just acquiring new companies. We've also noticed that sometimes it's better to not take a certain project. There was a point earlier this year where we were so packed that we could not onboard multiple companies. And of course, we wanted to scale at that point. While we were getting a few projects, the ticket size of that project was not as valuable for us. So we told them, hi guys, sorry, we cannot take you right now due to X, Y, and Z reasons, but let's see if we can connect sometime in the future. Now, people might think this is weird. Why are you rejecting a client? How about you go find a way to scale? We actually tried, but it just seems that providing the attention to our current clients really works well in the long run. So I would say that is going for us really well.
Yeah, that's a super interesting study that you did there, and by the sounds of things, certainly provided you with a lot of strategic guidance in terms of where to put your attention. And I think oftentimes there's a lot of value in being able to say no, not right now, to a client.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've learned that lesson, which is great. So, on the flip side of my question around what's working well, it's always interesting to understand what's not working well within the company.
As of now, I would say that we do not have a physical office at the moment. So everything's completely virtual. And I think this ties in with your question regarding company culture. So we've done our best to, keep a growth and learning culture within the company so that everyone can collaborate together and grow in their personal as well as professional lives. But the lack of not having a physical space really constricts us to certain things. Let's say just turning your back and trying to speak with your colleague, we cannot really do that. So you need to text the person, you need to see if they're available, then you send them the link, then you get on call. Sure, the interaction is good enough, but I would say that having a physical space really changes few things, right? And then it even helps with just day to day. You can have office activities and fun stuff. So before I started my business, I used to work in various tech companies, and I saw that, sure, we are all working, but at the same time, we are making jokes, we are having fun with each other. There's an entire entertainment area for you, and you can play billiards and table tennis and everything. So I want to put that kind of environment into the company, but due to financial reasons, as of now, we've not acquired an office.
Yeah, I mean, it's company culture is something that I've come to realize that I'm quite passionate about, because
Yeah.
I believe that company culture can either make or break a company as they start to scale. And the whole COVID phenomenon, obviously put everyone, into the sort of work from home space, and
Yep.
getting people back into the office, I think, is the immediate challenge for companies who want to continue to thrive and prosper. Of course, there's a balance that needs to be struck, because there is value in being able to work from home. However, the value that is gained, as you say, from that face-to-face interaction, the table tennis game over lunch, the ability to get up out of your seat and walk 5 meters and speak to your colleague and get an answer immediately, there's huge value in that. So it's a
I would
very,
like to also add on to that. Sorry if I interrupted you,
no, by all
but
means.
I think the hybrid approach would be the best option, because the traffic, at least here in Dubai, is not good at all. Uh, if you want to go from one place to another, it's probably going to take you 1 to 2 hours to reach there during peak office hours. What happens is that employees do feel that burnout. They might not feel it in a week or a month, but 6 months in, that burnout definitely comes in. On the flip side, if you're continuously at home, it can be mentally challenging as well. You're just not getting enough sunlight, you're not getting fresh air, you're not interacting as much. So that affects you mentally in certain ways. So I would say a hybrid approach would be the best. Let's say it's like 3 days from the office while 2 days at home. And I think that brings a good balance into the picture.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So if we look ahead, I mean, the field of enterprise AI is shifting rapidly. Seems like it's changing almost every week. The new open source models, new business models that come with new expectations. How are you thinking about Rain's competitive positioning, and what do you want to be known for in the next 3 to 5 years?
I get this asked quite often. What is the future of Rain AI? What do you want to do? And to be honest, we do not want to do anything revolutionary. And people get surprised when I tell them this. Our vision again is not to go ahead and create the next best model, nor we want to go ahead and make a supercomputer or the next GPU, or compete with NVIDIA. We don't want to do any of that. There are companies which are doing it. Great, good for them. Our entire focus is to actually leverage these technologies and solve real business problems. You can have all the models out there, you can have all the compute out there, you can have all the research out there, but if that is not being put into use to provide valuable business opportunities, to help businesses solve their real problems, then there's no point in any of this, right? Let's say companies are manufacturing engines and tires and car seats and lights and windshields, whatever. But if there's no one to put everything together and produce that solid car, then there's no point in it. So again, our focus is completely towards, and again, for the next 3 to 5 years, I would say we would like to solve bigger and bigger problems.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And if our listeners and viewers want to reach out to you and the broader Raen team, where's the best place for them to do that?
If you're on social media, then I would say you can always reach out to us via Instagram for like quick questions or just to chat with us. And of course, if you want to inquire about our company or would like to collaborate with us, just go onto our website. On our footer section, we have our phone number, we have our emails and things like that. You can go ahead and contact us. Alternatively, we have a chatbot within our website too that knows about our company. So if you have any questions regarding that, feel free to reach out.
Amazing. Well, Abis, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. It's been a really interesting conversation diving into Raen AI and some of the inner workings and go-to-market strategies, but then also talking more broadly about the industries that you serve and the onset of artificial intelligence and what the future holds for the company. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. This was a pleasure.
That's it for today's episode of the Aegance Offscript Podcast. If this conversation sparked something, thought, a question, or a new way of seeing your own business, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.